come live today because I am starting this series on aligning to love, or continuing really. And so today, what I'm going to talk about is, and I have some notes. So if you see me looking down or looking away, I have notes. And I'm also live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So welcome, welcome, welcome in. If you're not subscribed, or if you're not following me, subscribe or follow whatever you do on the platform that you're on. But my name is Tammy Morrison. I'm a spiritual teacher and a mentor and an intuitive healer. And I am so excited because I love to help women and femmes on their way to aligning to love. And how do I do that? By teaching them to become the love that they seek. Because the love that you seek is out there, but it is within you first. And so that is one of the things that I do, and I'm so excited to do it. I use all of the tools that I am. I am also a psychic medium, a channel. I use all of these tools and energy healer to help people to align to love so that you can become the love that you seek. And what qualifies me to do that is because that's what I did for myself. I did that for myself after being married to a man that didn't really value me. For 20 years, I was able to find my self-worth and my value and become the love that I was seeking. And therefore, I attracted the love that I desired. And that is what I am wanting to do for all of you that are looking for that. So, releasing the past. Releasing the past is such a healing because the past keeps you stuck. It keeps you bound. It's a healing process that involves letting go of the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual ties to events and people or patterns that no longer serve your highest good. So it is really about letting go. And so some of the key things that you're going to do within that, in letting go, helping you to release the past, are rooted in, of course, energy work, forgiveness work, and also spiritual practices. And so these are some of the things that I help and guide my clients to so that they can see, because what happens a lot of times is we hold on to not only the past, but we hold on to the patterns within the past. And that just perpetuates it. So then we share with our kids or are the people around us, people in our circle. And you have, just this continuing wheelbarrow of building up of BS. And so you want to first acknowledge the pain in the past. You want to acknowledge your painful past. And as hard as that is, it really is necessary. You want to begin to identify and look at the patterns in your life. You want to do that. You want to begin to create an awareness by journaling and having conversations, and this is one of the reasons why we join groups and we join memberships and we join mentorships and stuff like that, because that is a space where we can do that. We can speak to other like-minded people. We can come together and also begin to build and create awareness. Thank you so much for joining. Another thing is we can do energy healing. Reiki is one, chakra work is another. Cord cutting rituals are definitely something that we need to do to release the past. And, newsflash, you can create your own ritual, whatever feels good to you. Because the thing is it's about you and it's personal, just like affirmations. You want affirmations? Yes, everything is always working out for me is one of my favorites. However, I have personal affirmations that relate to what I'm looking to manifest, what I'm manifesting. I have personal things just like you do. So when you create those affirmations, and it's just a tidbit, create ones that feel good to you, ones that mean something to you. Because if they mean something to you, then you're going to believe them. Reiki and intuitive healing is another thing. Theta healing is a thing. Prana healing is a thing. Quantum Reiki and crystal Reiki and animal Reiki and you name it, there are modalities that you can use in order to help you. The thing is finding the one that works for you, the one that feels good to you in your body and your spirit. These practices are going to help you to release stored emotional energy, restoring the balance and making space for love. And so those are things that you have to consider and think about when you are releasing the past. All right. Another thing is forgiveness. Forgiveness is so super healing. And so many people are so stubborn and refuse to forgive. And so the thing that is the first person that you need to forgive, which is not normally the first person that we forgive. And I can speak from my experience. I forgive everybody else before I forgive myself because I hold myself to a higher standard. However, I started shifting that where I forgive myself first. Forgive yourself. And I have a forgiveness letter exercise on my stand store that you can grab that would really, really help you. I mean, I did it myself and it helped to open up some things in me that I thought I had released and I thought I had forgiven. And so the other thing is forgive other people, and like I said, for me, it was easier to forgive other people than myself. But when I started really learning how to really forgive myself, and take myself off the cross, y'all, take myself off the cross because that's where I would put myself. You should have known better. And I would talk to myself like that. You should have known better. You know better than that. You weren't raised like that. Da, 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 whatever, all the things. But took myself off the cross and also forgive others. And again, affirmations are huge with this. Affirmations are going to be your best friend once you learn how to use them, because one of the things is, and I say these things to myself all the time. So when I'm sharing this, I'm sharing from a space of, I'm not only the president, like the hair club commercial. I'm not only the president, I'm also a client, so I do these things and share these things with myself. I actually did that this morning. I released the past and embraced love and healing. This is something that I do say to myself. I release the past and I embrace love and healing. I embrace grace. I forgive myself for being whatever you felt. And then start deconstructing the judgment even of that. Once you start deconstructing the judgment of that, it's going to take you to another level in your healing journey. Because one thing about forgiveness is liberating. It clears clutter, emotional clutter, and opens your heart like nothing else. So if you feel like your heart is closed, or you have a closed heart chakra, and sometimes that is the case, then forgiveness is what's blocking it. Everybody wants to run around and talk about, this block and that block and all this kind of stuff. But nobody wants to take accountability for the things that they do in order to create the blocks in the first place. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And so spiritual practices as well are important in releasing the past. You can do rituals for closure. And rituals are things that you do. Things that you do, on a consistent basis. You can do rituals for closure, like writing a letter to your past self, writing a letter to significant people, in your life, without sending them. Then burning or burying the letter as a symbolic act of release, or ripping it up. Like if you don't have a space for that, like you live in an apartment or something, rip it up, shred it up and throw it down the toilet, just whatever it is you need to do for a sign of release. So let's not stop semantics from allowing us to get our healing, people. Okay. And so you can pray. I pray all the time because that's who I am. I am a prayer. And so you can pray. You can pray. You can connect to your spirit guides. You can connect to God, higher self, whatever you call the collective. You can pray. You can ask spirit for support. You can call in your spirit team, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, your ascended masters, all of the people that make up your spirit team. And then you can, speak to them, and they will also help you to open up to different tools in different ways. Because sometimes it's not that we don't have access, but we don't use it. It's like people come and give you something. They say, oh, here's this tool for you, and you don't accept it. Then you can't blame anybody for not being able to get what you need if you didn't accept the tools that were given to you or gifted to you or even offered to you. So another thing is mindfulness and emotional integration. So you want to if you're not meditating already, you want to start a meditation practice, whatever that looks like for you. Don't let anybody tell you what it looks like for you. Because for me, for a long time, I would just accept the fact that, I can't meditate, for a long time. So when people come to me and say that, I know it. I know it, and I can help them because I was the same. I would tell people I can't meditate. I would try. And I would do like my grandmother used to do. So my grandmother would just lay on the bed and she would be laying there with her eyes, sometimes with her eyes open, looking at the ceiling, sometimes with them closed, but she would just be laying there in the quiet. Sometimes she had a little soft music on, but she'd just be laying there. And so, I'm a little girl, so I want to know what's she doing. And so she told me she was meditating. And so that's kind of how I started learning how to meditate. So I would lay there with her and I would meditate for, probably all of 3 minutes because, my brain always going, always going, always going, always going. Neurodivergent as hell, always going. so, but I would lay there with her, and that is how I learned to meditate. But, as I got older, I was like, so many things, so many stuff in my head. I can't quiet my mind is something I would tell people. They would say, oh, I can't quiet my mind. And I would say, I can't quiet mine either. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to allow those thoughts to come through. We're just not going to focus on them. What you're going to do is you're going to learn awareness. You're going to learn how to focus on something else. So you're going to learn awareness. That is what we're doing here. We are learning awareness. And so meditation is going to be something that will really, really move the needle for you in releasing this past. I'm telling you something that I know, and I'm not telling you something that I've read or something I've heard or something I studied. I'm telling you something I know personally. It will definitely help you. And if you have some issues, you can try those 5-minute guided meditations that they have right on YouTube. I think it's called 5-minute guided meditations, and they are amazing. They have so many different types. You can pick and choose what you want. There's mindfulness ones. There's ones for clarity, all kinds of things. And so you can go on there and find something that works for you, because I'm telling you, it is such a game changer in your life when you begin to do that. And after a while, you'll start to crave it, because it'll feel so good to you. Another tool is breath work. You want to do some deep belly breathing, do some fire breathing. There are different type of breath works to do. And there's also videos on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere, where you can just search and find, ways to do breath work. Another thing is EFT tapping. And that is one that I absolutely, like when I first found out about it, and I watched, I think it was Brad Yates back in the day on it. And at first I was like, this is just really stupid. That was really how I thought. I was like, this is just really stupid. But you know what? As I started watching it, and then as I started practicing with him, like I would do his tapping scripts, because he has tapping scripts, and there's videos you can find him on here. And there's Margaret Rainier was another one that I first started studying with as well for tapping. And so I do that as well. Sometimes I'll just be sitting there doing this, just doing this. And it just helps to relieve the anxiety. I can feel it because I have this low level anxiety that I've always carried. And I always felt like, I have to be doing something, and that's another one of those past things that I'm releasing, because it was just something that was put in me, by my parental unit. And, you just always got to be doing something. So, sometimes I would just be tapping. Sometimes I do that even now. You might even see me doing it on a video, because sometimes I can feel, anxiety rising, and I'll tap because I'm not, not a big pharma person. So another thing is, that's going to help move the needle for you, though. Mindfulness, all of these techniques, they're going to help you, and the next thing is breaking the cycles of repetition. So typically when you start identifying those patterns and you start looking at the themes in your life, looking at all your relationships, looking at even, love, I'm talking about love relationships, but even other relationships like parental relationships, or relationships with your siblings, or relationships with your peers. Start looking at those things and look at the patterns in your life. You will find them. I guarantee that you will find those patterns. You'll start looking at them and they'll just start jumping out at you once you open your eyes and you're ready to see. because that usually is what it is. It's like your eyes are not open and you are not ready to see. So you can't see. And so once you start doing that and you start identifying those themes, and then you start connecting with your team to see how you can make those shifts, or working with someone like me that can help you to make those shifts. you know Next thing is reprogramming those beliefs and using affirmations, again, ones that you create that mean something to you. Affirmations, using visualizations, which are amazing. I love them. I do them every day, all day. Like I will sit down and just take a visualization break. I would just do that. Put on this nice meditation music that you hear, and I will just take a visualization break and just visualize this thing that I desire, whatever it is. you know and then there's also coaching. So there's always coaches. There's many of them all over, all kinds. There's therapy, if that is another thing that you would like to have. That is one another thing that is recommended to do if that's what you desire. And then accountability. So create some plans to help you. Create some things that you desire in your life. And that's one of the things that I'm offering in this Align to Love program, because I know that that is something that we need. And I've been there, I'm so grateful to be able to offer this program, just because I've been there and I know how it feels. And I have 3 different ways that I'm going to be offering it as well. So make sure that you continue to stay tuned, and that if you're on YouTube, you like, share, and subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you're following me. TikTok at Intuitive Tammy. Please follow me there as well. I do healings, readings, messages from spirit as well. And I also do teaching. So I'll be on there. TikTok, typically I'm live every day, except for this weekend because I was out of town. But I'm live there every day, just like here on YouTube. So again, begin to celebrate new beginnings, because that is what we're doing when we start to release these past things, and when we start to just really decide that we're going to let that shit go. Let it stay in the past. And a lot of times people love to use vision boards to help them, because a lot of times once you put these things on the vision board and they come to pass. Now, I am personally not a vision board person. However, it's one of the things that was suggested in my research to help people and that people like. I don't really. I did them. I used to do them when I was younger, because when I was a teenager, I started getting into like yoga and stuff like that. Hey, Dimples, thank you for joining. I started getting into yoga and all kinds of. I really, honestly, y'all, I think I had a spiritual awakening at like 15. Even though I was my grandmother was a pastor, y'all. So I was deep in the church, and all of that. But at that point, I started getting a spiritual awakening, because I started, doing yoga and really watching how I was eating. I stopped eating pork, which y'all know is really hard in the South. But I started stop eating pork, and my some of my family was like, "What are you, Muslim or something?" But I was like, "No, but I just started, feeling this way, because it would make me feel some kind of way." And y'all, I love me some bacon. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I love bacon and sausage. I love it. So that was really hard for me. But I just was like, not too bad, because my mama started doing turkey bacon and all that crap at that time, which I don't even like. It's not bacon. So I started, doing all that, and then I started, like receiving messages, and I read the autobiography of a yogi at the time. I was a teenager. I was about 15. So I really think now, when I think back, I think I had all of these things going on even then. So, to be in this space now, it's amazing to me, but it feels familiar to me, because I've been here. Like, I have been here. And I was thinking, about like dark nights of the soul, and spiritual awakenings and things, because those usually come hand to hand. Hand in hand. They usually go together, like peanut butter and jelly. So I think about it. It was like, okay, there was a dark night of the soul somewhere there. But I had some manifestations at that time, because I was 15, years old, about 14 to 15. Because my birthday was late, so I was, early school. So I was 14 to 15, and I had some manifestations because I had been praying since I was like 5 years old that God would give me some breasts, right? Why I did that, I don't know, but I was praying, and so God did bless me in that way, and even larger than my mother. So I was like, oh my God, and it was so crazy because when I went back to school after the summer, I had people in my school thinking I had work done. I was like, are you crazy? No. So anyway, so that was a crazy manifestation for me at that time. But yeah, so the thing is make sure that you create some rituals that honor you, as you go through this process. And don't wait until you think it's over or until it's finished for you or whatever. No, do it incrementally because that's going to keep you encouraged. So create some things. So like, I don't know, for me, I like to y'all know I love my bathtub. So I love to take a bath. And so I like to, put the things in my tub, some rose petals and, some essential oils. And of course, I have my amazing bath soap that I create that is available if any of you would like some of that. But I love to do that. And I just, put on some nice soft music and get me a glass of wine or, and just relax, or even a good cup of tea. Even a good cup of tea is just amazing for that. And I'll just go in the bath and I'll, do affirmations that mean something to me, that help me, that make me feel good. But I'll do these things, and to me, and I'll be in gratitude too. And that to me is another thing that's super important. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in here, but I want to mention it now. Definitely, gratitude is important. Gratitude is important. Hey, Auntie, thank you for joining. Gratitude is important. So definitely splash gratitude. And for me, I try to splash it all day long if I can help it. If I can help it, I try to be grateful in everything in every way. So anyway, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate y'all for joining. Those of you on Facebook, make sure you go on YouTube and like this video that is the same that you're watching. Make sure you go there and you subscribe. Help me monetize over there. And also follow me at Intuitive Tammy on TikTok, where I go live daily and do healings and messages from spirit. And I also do some teaching because y'all know I talk about love and I talk about healing and how we can grow together and all of that. And that, lights me up. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. I'm about to shut it down, but I appreciate y'all for being here, and definitely check out all those spaces. Like I said, I go live everywhere, almost every day. I go live on YouTube daily, and I go live on TikTok pretty much daily too, except for this weekend when I was out of town. But yeah, so I typically do. I go live most days, YouTube and TikTok. So definitely follow me in those spaces, and continue to follow me here. Much love to all of you, and I hope that this was so helpful. Yeah, have a great day. Bye now.